Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. So many of you have asked me how can I retrieve my soul pieces from the person that took them or that abused me? How can I get these things back? How do I, do it myself? So I'm going to go through the basics of energy work, and then I'll explain what these basics can be used for as far as the things that I do, so that you can try to do them yourself or any other energy work that you feel drawn to. So the first basic of energy work is visualization. So energy work happens, I would say, typically in the theta brainwave. So there's something called Theta Healing that uses this brainwave in order to release subconscious belief patterns. So in order to actually have something happen when you do this, you need to visualize it, and the main thing behind visualizing it is watching it, the process complete. So this is the most difficult part for me, and possibly for other people as well, is when you're healing something, you have to keep your focus on it and watch it happen until it happens. So let's apply this to a couple of different scenarios. So if you're trying to clear an attachment from yourself, so some kind of spirit attachment or other negative energy that's attached to your energy field, so the place that I send them is into the light. So the light will just send them where they're meant to go. So you can see that, you can close your eyes, visualize where you feel the thing or whatever it is on your energy fields, and then push it into the light. And it's going to resist, it's not going to want to go, so you're going to have to focus and keep pushing it into the light. And you can't give up in the middle of the process and be like, oh, I just can't do it. You have to focus and you have to push it into the light. So that's if you're clearing an entity attachment. So if you're theta healing, I will have to go into in other videos, but it's basically when you heal a subconscious belief, either from this life, a past life, any kind of passed down beliefs from your family members. That would be like on a genetic or DNA level. And then there's the soul level. So this is a belief that's been integrated into the deepest parts of your being. So there's all these levels you can theta heal at. And one technique that I use is that, let's say, so the first step is muscle testing. So the muscle testing is when you ask a question either in your head or out loud while you're standing, and then see if you lean forward, which is a yes, and then backwards, which is a no. So you ask a question like, so for example, I would say something like, I am lovable. If I lean back when I say that, it's a no. I don't believe I'm lovable. If I lean forward, it's a yes. So that's kind of like the rudimentary way to do it. You can look up muscle testing online and see what comes up. There might be other ways to do it. That's kind of the way that I learned it. So then you can see whether or not you have that belief, and then you would test for it the same way using the muscle testing on each level. So your subconscious level, your past life, genetic, and then soul. So let's say you test for it and it's only on a subconscious level from this life. So let's say, okay, so you see the belief, let's imagine it as like a circle, but the circle is all like rusty, like a rusty ring. So you would have to watch, what I would do is I would watch the light go around the circle, just keep going around until it is like a clean gold ring. And that's when I know the belief is healed. That's just something that I used in the past. You can do this anyway. The important thing is to visualize it, watch it happen until it's finished, and then there will typically be some kind of emotional release of it within a few days. So if you finally release the belief that you're not lovable, you may feel like crying or something like that, or if it's a different belief like anger is bad or something, then you might feel like really angry in a day or two. So that will be the confirmation that something has healed and the healing has taken place. Okay, so I will link a Theta Healing book below so you can look into that if you're interested. I'll still talk about it in other videos though. So now we'll talk about the soul retrieval. So how do you retrieve the soul pieces yourself from someone who has taken them? Okay, so besides watching it happen, you also need to hold the intention. And the soul retrieval is a little more tricky. The soul can really look like whatever you imagine it to look like. So if you think that it looks like a younger version of you, that's what it looks like. I like to see them as like little balls of light. And then I see the dark soul or any other soul's energy that's been projected onto me and that I've sort of incorporated. As I'm releasing it, I'll see it as like little balls of like little black balls. That's sort of how I visualize it. So then what you'd want to do is you'd want to envision going to their energy and then like sucking back all of your pieces and then sending all of their pieces into the light. So this is a tricky process, which is why I haven't really talked about it before, because it's almost like you're astral traveling in the theta wave when you do a soul retrieval. And if you're not experienced in protecting yourself, and if you have attachments, it's not going to work and it could be dangerous. And it could actually make things worse. So you always want to have some kind of protection with you, whether there's a spirit guide that you trust or an angel, or in traditional shamanism, they have power animals. So that's like an animal that you feel, that you've always felt drawn to. So the way that Sandra Ingerman suggests that you find your power animals in her book, Soul Retrieval, Mending the Fragmented Self, is that you imagine yourself like drifting down a river in a canoe in like a jungle or the rainforest or anything that makes you feel comfortable like that, and you look around and you see what animals kind of like come to you. So, you know, it could be really any animal, and she suggests that you keep your animals a secret because it helps retain their power. So I kind of like that. I don't like to share what my power animals are. But I guess if you wanted to, of course you could. So that's kind of the way it works. It takes focus. You have to hold the intention of what you're doing. You have to believe it's going to happen, and you have to watch it happen. And if your doubt is too strong, or if it's been going on for so long that you can't tell the difference between like, you know, a negative energy attachment or like a spirit attachment and like you, or if you're just struggling, you know, then it's best to kind of seek help from an outside source, whether it's an energy worker or a shaman or just any other kind of person that works with the spirit in that way. That's why I typically always recommend clearing yourself of any attachments first, because if you've experienced any kind of trauma in this life, you know, whether other people think it was traumatic or not, if it was traumatic to you, then there's a chance that an entity could have attached in that moment of trauma. Or sometimes it's just like a wrong place, wrong time type of situation. There's never really a wrong place or a wrong time, but if you want to look at it as like just, you know, something randomly attaching to you for whatever reason, that's another way to see it. So if you have any other questions, you can leave them below. I will post the Theta Healing book link down there if you're interested, and I will see you soon. Goodbye.